Everyone deserves to have a house that is beautiful inside and especially out. That's where you get to go see the beautiful world we live in. Absolutely. Put that smile on your face every day. We got an expert here. Logan is going to talk to us about it. Stay tuned for this, everybody. Well, if you missed that first half hour, everybody, you missed some great information. Logan here is an expert, can talk to you about how to properly maintain, set up your house on the outside so that you can get that beautiful landscape. Everything people want to wake up and they drive out on their way to work and they go, I've worked very hard and earned what we've got here. With that, we'll give a shout out to our sponsors, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. See what we did there? Everybody's got their own little castle, hopefully with a beautiful lawn that's been taken care of by Logan. It's superb maintenance. They do some great job. Do a great job. You might want to prepare for your long term and get yourself invested in some gold. Go to My Metal Pro. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for. We'll come back to that little promo in a bit, but you'll want to get some more information about this and go to the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy. Those guys, they got a lot of fun they produce for us on our show. But the Gold promo videos do a lot of fun stuff that we do in our community. So we're going to share with you a little bit more about that as we get going here. But go to the Gold Cowboy, goldcowboy.com, and you can learn about that. So a lot of good stuff out there. All right, with that, let's jump in here. We've got a Facebook page, a TV wall with your Facebook page on it, and this website that you put together. That looks great, and lots of great information. So I'm going to put out the wide angle for everybody to see that, so you can see what's going on here, and you can see a lot of the beautiful work. And then we talked about that Facebook page. Put that up over there. There we go. All right, Logan, you've been doing this since 2015.
Yep.
Tell me, what is the biggest mistake? Consumers spend a lot of money on landscaping.
Absolutely.
They can blow anywhere from $500 to $50,000, $100,000. What's the biggest mistake you've seen people make?
Well, I think personally, people who try to plant something that does not need to be planted. So, for instance, you can't plant a bush or a tree or a flower if it has full sun or if it needs part shade or full shade even.
Okay.
Sometimes people get mixed up and they'll start putting things places where it can't belong, and they'll end up dying. And they'll be like, well, why'd this die? Well, you really got to take into account how much sun it gets, how much water it gets. So you got to be knowledgeable as far as what you're putting in the ground and how much sunlight it gets.
So do you become a bit of an agricultural expert too? You've got to learn these types of plants can't have light all day long. Other can't do that to them. You'll burn them up.
Yep.
I didn't know that about cutting the grass at certain heights during the season too. I mean, we're learning a lot here, everybody.
Yeah.
From an expert. It's taking a little time to sit down here with us. But yeah, that's why back to why not have the experts do this. And so landscaping, you can go up to Lowe's. You can buy. I love Lowe's. I buy stuff. They're not and my bricks in front of my house are from Lowe's. One of the problems I didn't realize is I didn't put a base of gravel below it, so now they sank into the ground. These are the mistakes that you don't need to make. You hire an expert that'll save you from the hassle.
Absolutely.
What do you think about landscape with those people who do want to landscape on their own? Any advice you would have for them? Is that a mistake many times they make because they're going to have to redo it?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you do your research, it kind of just depends what you're doing. Make sure that you really research what you're going to be putting in the ground, or if you're going to be doing the wall. For one, make sure you have the right drainage to properly distribute that water flow. But for two, it definitely starts with a good base. Any retaining wall, the foundation, just like a house, it starts with the foundation. So you have to have, either gravel or minus. It just kind of depends on also how tall your wall is going to be. So
he's talking about things I haven't heard. Minus gravel. I know about the gravel. These are things that you should learn. I mean, and again, we can all become our YouTube expert. Get your pencil out, everybody. Write that down. Go to YouTube, and you can learn everything up until where it becomes something where you have. My dad helped me understand. As a specialist, you'll become a specialist someday. This is when I was a kid. Maybe I'm still working on that. But where you can. It's not about you have a specialist, not because of the easy things that are easy to implement. It's so that when there's a problem, the problem can be resolved. That's where an expert like you comes in and says, "Well, you didn't put this down. The underlayment, the supports. How often is somebody building one of these retaining walls and they don't have it supported correctly, and then they fall over? I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I would say 30-40% of our business is redoing things that have failing, or just not really worked properly. Something that has not been done correctly in the past. We do a lot of that work.
Yeah, I could imagine there's so much that goes into the average structure that they don't realize the supports that are necessary to go behind these things. And I'll tell you, I won't name the place or the time, but there was a wall that I was helping somebody with, and they were selling a house. And next thing you looked in the wall, it's falling apart. But somebody looked at it behind the wall, and they go, they don't have any of the normal supports you're supposed to have behind that, and that's why it fell. And now instead of having a wall, they got a beautiful house they can sell. They've got to take $10,000 off the price of the house, or bring a maintenance crew to a lawn.
Absolutely, it's crucial. Yep.
Okay, things you don't want to try to do yourself. We talked a little bit about in the first show, but you also do residential as primary and then commercial as well. What would you say is your split on that? 50-50, 30-70?
Oh, I would say probably 30-70.
30-70? Okay.
Yeah, it's
and 70 being residential?
Correct.
Okay.
30% commercial. And I really like both. I started out with residential, and that's kind of what I built my business on. The commercial work is great. I love it. And I'll continue to, keep going for the commercial work as well. But I do like my fair share, of both.
Okay, yeah. And you get that rewarding result from each one of them as you finish a house for a family or for that business.
Absolutely.
Which ones are easier to work with typically? I guess there's a little more commercial stuff you got to deal with.
Yeah, commercial work, it seems to be more scheduled. So every year, like for instance, we do a lot of work for the Schnuck stores around here, and so every year I know that they're going to be doing mulch. We're going to be bringing in mulch every single March and getting all the stores, properly mulched and de-weeded. That's an every year thing. Sometimes with residential, sometimes they want to take a year off, which is totally fine. But, it kind of throws our schedule a little unpredictable with residential.
Yeah, well, I'll say that when you throw out names like Schnucks, everybody, that's one of the top two biggest supermarkets here in St. Louis. How many locations do they have? That gives you a lot of work, but to be able to be hired by Schnucks on a regular basis, that's pretty cool. How long did it take to earn that account?
Well, we started working with Schnucks, I guess, about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it took quite a few years of building up the business and making sure that we have the correct documents, the correct insurance. All that needs to be taken in place before you get an account like that.
Yeah, you're in the big leagues at that point, and they're not going to mess around with somebody if you don't have the proper insurance. That's for sure. Yeah. Bonded, all that kind of stuff.
Workers' compensation.
Workers' comp.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
And very important. Playing by all the big boy rules right here. Logan's taking into account because those things you must, and that applies for people when they have residential too. You still shouldn't have less insurance because you're not working with a big company like Schnucks.
And that's what helps us set us apart as well from a lot of the competition. So.
Okay. That leads to my next question. Tell us a time when you felt like you really helped somebody. I can only imagine as many years as you've been doing this, maybe an older lady who had somebody that didn't do the job correctly, you had to come in and fix that. Can you give me an example or two of time you helped somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a really good story actually. So when I was building my company, I worked out in the field for several years. I'm not necessarily in the field every day anymore because I do a lot at the office and the paperwork, now. But when I was working in the field every day, I worked with one of my good buddies. His name is Noah, and we were on the lawn mowing route, cutting grass right through Lake St. Louis. We were driving on the boulevard, and we seen this lady. She had to be maybe in her 70s, and she was on the ground. I mean, she was going to get her mail, and she was on the ground. She couldn't get up, and we just both happened to look over at the same time, and we were like, that don't look right, man. We need to pull over, see if everything's okay. So we did. We pulled over on the side of the boulevard, and she had fallen, and she couldn't get up, and she didn't have a cell phone on her or anything because she was just out to get the mail. And she had her walker and everything, but she fell from the walker, so she couldn't get herself back up. She was stuck. So me and Noah,
guys helping the community here. Everybody. Put the hat
we
up
helped
for
her back up. We helped her back up, and she was fine. We helped her to her door, and after that, I hope that she was fine, but she got the help she needed after that point. And me and Noah were just looking at each other like, wow, like Thankfully, we stopped. For that poor lady, I don't know how long she would have been there. But
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, those are the kinds of good karma things. They had nothing to do with the actual work you were doing, but something you just happened to be in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we were just on our regular mowing route.
Here's somebody that could use some help, and he bothered to say, "Hey, let's go over and help a lady." Yeah, she could have been there. Who knows how long?
Yeah.
If somebody had
No cell phone or nothing, That was a situation. So.
Well, I can only assume that because of the good nature you had there, there's good karma that has come your way and will continue to come your way
I sure hope so.
because of the good work you're doing. That's what we found. The more people you help everybody, the easier your world can become. So continue to do the good things to help our community.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about media, though, because in this world, media has really changed the way things are done. So if you're interested in learning more about it, get our book here called Magnetize Media. I wrote the foreword here. I ended up writing essentially the first chapter, but it gives you a lot of great information about how, and it outlines it for you. It doesn't just give you a bunch of verbiage and you got to go through, oh, what was he talking about there? How does that work? There's this picture there. They put me inside. But literally, social media, internet has changed the way the game is played, and you need to pay attention to it. Pick yourself up a copy of that. With that in mind, Logan, tell me, how has media changed the way you do business? Now, somebody who's been doing this for 10 years, did you start off with Facebook and social media back when you were first going? Well, how long did it take you to get a website and all those kinds of things? And have they helped you?
Definitely a little bit of everything. I started out with business cards and flyers. I'd go and put them on doors and, try to go door-to-door sales. I'd knock on doors and try to speak with people. But social media definitely, in this day and age, the return on investment is a lot different, from Facebook advertising compared to door-to-door hangers and everything.
Right.
I would say Facebook advertising is probably our number one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it really just kind of takes off. There's so many people on Facebook that in our local area too.
Right.
Homeowners and people that are interested in work. So Facebook, Nextdoor, even Google, website. That's 4 things right there that are just all online that have helped us tremendously.
Yeah, if you don't pay attention to these things, everybody, this is what we wanted to give people an outlet to say, hey, we can produce a whole half hour all about your business and then help you to get the word out without obligating people to a $30,000 a month budget or something like that. I just saw so many small businesses, but these days, like you said, everybody's got to be doing it now because it's available for everybody. Social media is technically free. It takes your time and energy to do so, and there's lots of systems out there that can help you, and we're strong advocates that you do get involved with that. So you can have a great-looking website and social media, like you can see Logan has put together for his company. Superbmaintenance.org. Check them out. They'll help you with what you got to do for your business. All right, with that, tell me the process. I can only imagine that by the time somebody's seen this, they said, well, you know what you're doing. I want to hire these guys. How easy is it? What's the process they go through?
Yeah, absolutely. So call or text us, email us, whatever your preference is. We'll respond to you immediately. As soon as possible. On our website, it shows that we're open 24 hours, and that's not a lie. I respond to text messages at 11, 12, 1. I mean, you name it.
Really?
I do, yeah. And I've talked to customers at midnight before about their landscape, and if they text me first, I don't go text them.
You won't reach out to them for that?
No. So, it's... After that point, if they reach out to us, we get them a quote as fast as possible because we try to be on top of it, and we don't want people waiting forever. So
right.
If they want a quote, they don't want to wait 2 weeks for the quote. They want a quote tomorrow. So.
But how often? And can you do the aerial stuff with Google Maps these days, or do you have to go to their location, or a combination of the two? How does that do?
Yeah, a combination of the two. We could definitely pull their property up online, which I do a lot of the times. But sometimes on Google and these softwares, you can't necessarily understand the incline of yards and exactly down to the detail of what's going on their property. So I try to make it a point, either Sean or I will stop by the property, take a look at it. That way we can get a very accurate quote.
Okay. Those are the important things we want to make sure, because you can only assume that giving an estimate for some of the work you're going to do, you want to make sure you get that accurate. Because somebody doesn't want to say, oh yeah, it was $500, now it's $1,000, or $10,000, now it's $20,000. That can set some people going, hey, what's going on here? But on site, very often you can see the detail there and pay attention to how important is it to be on site versus the aerial. You talked about the grade, but it's just very often you really do need to be on site to see what they're doing. Depends on the size of the job, I guess.
I'm a pretty strong believer in that, just mostly because I don't want myself or Sean to make a mistake when we're creating our bids and thinking about how much money it's going to take to get this job done. Because if we're short on material or miscalculate the labor hours, you know, that's crucial when it comes down to profitability in the company. So we got to make sure the numbers are working right.
Well, that's all part of running a business, and those things that you do have to be on top of, or else you have confused consumer never buys, and that's not what we're looking for. We want to have people to chip into our economy here, especially when you're going to have a house. The value of your house can go up based on the landscaping that they have there, and those things that go into that. All right, we're going to jump back into some of our stuff we've done in the community here. Take a listen here as we're highlighting some stuff right around Busch Stadium. Some people that help us do what we do. Check it out. Check in after the game. There they are. A couple of my buddies right here. We're going to say hi to them right now. All right, everybody. I got Derek and Chris. I see these guys just about every game down here at Busch Stadium. A lot of fun you get to run into. A lot of cool Cardinal fans down here. What do you guys like most about helping this Cardinal thing happen?
Oh man, just the different type of people that you meet every day.
And let me give you, before I even go too far, let me give you your mic. There we go. All right. You go ahead and start there.
All right, no, it's just the different type of people that you meet every day, man. You know, it's just, you know, it's like a pleasure to just meet different types of people. You know, the game is fun, and you know, just to see the Cardinals win every day.
Yeah.
You got it. All right. So Chris, let me switch the mic up. You can just hold it like that if you want to. There you go. There you go. Hold it up right there. The mic part's right there. There we go. Chris, what do you like about this, man? Lots of fun people.
Lots of
Get to
fun.
hang out at patios.
Yeah, lots of fun. People come down, kick it, have fun, get you a couple drinks.
Nice hot summer day.
Yeah.
Stay in shape. We're all going to lose about 5 pounds in water weight today.
Yeah, almost there.
Drink a lot of water.
All right, guys. Enjoy that. Hope you enjoy that beef jerky. If you need some water, I might have some of that too, guys. All right, we'll see you guys after the game. Giddy up. All right.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! So there we go again, everybody. Lots of fun stuff. You saw a couple teasers of that video early on in the show, but we like to share with people about how to invest in their future, but also what's going on in the community. A lot of the guys down there at Patios, our good friends, that make things happen down there. So probably my favorite place to go. I would go every game after the game to patios. DJ Peasy, we got to put DJ Peasy on at some point, and DJ Sox. Those guys really bring the music and do a lot of fun stuff. Peasy's working with me a little bit on some fun stuff too, the gold and related things. Check that out. He's a big crypto guy, so he understands how crypto works. All right, let's jump back in here though. We were. What is the biggest objection? Got my questions over here, everybody. I like to write them down. What's the biggest objection people have? I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, and it depends on the size of the job. But what is the biggest question you often get from people?
Yeah, the biggest objection, I mean, it really just comes down to offering quality work for our clients. So our price is not the cheapest around. You know, it's a lot that ties into it with insurance, and our overhead and our cost to do business ties in a lot with our pricing. So
Right.
everybody's pricing is a little bit different with their overhead and compared to their cost to run their business compared to our cost to run our business. So that's what it really comes down to. Our price is not the cheapest, and I think that's the biggest objection that we have there is the pricing.
Yeah, well, cheap gets very expensive. We talk about this from time to time, but we get the pencil out because if you're trying to just cut corners and cut costs in any kind of fashion, you got to figure out what are you giving up.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not getting the proper insurance, that could get you in a lot of trouble. You have somebody, I know somebody lost their whole business because they got sued. And the business was tied to the job, and they lost everything because the insurance wasn't paid properly, and that affected all kinds of people. Got tore up with that, with an injury that happened at the residence. But those are things you want to make sure you're dealing with the pros, like Logan and his team. He's got 10 guys working with him too, a combined group of 10 guys. They're going to get the stuff done right for you. So cool to see you doing that kind of fun stuff to help make a difference in our community. What is it that you enjoy most? What gives you the most satisfaction? At the end of the day, what do you like most about what you get to do for your customers, your clients?
Definitely the before and afters. Seeing a project go from nothing to something is beautiful for me. I love the before and afters. I'm a big before and after guy.
Right.
So I try to take as many pictures as I can because the transformation is really what makes me feel good, along with the clients.
Yeah, if you look on the wall behind us, everybody, we've got a few pictures up here we're going to show with everybody. I can tell my wall looks like it locked up for a second. But tell me about that with regard to that. Do you take your own pictures yourself, or you assemble those and you put them on your social media? How do you share those?
Yeah, sometimes I try to wear a couple hats. So I try to run the company, and I'll also be the company photographer. So I'll go out to the sites and try to get the before pictures, and I'll try to get the after pictures, and put those together and upload them to our website, Facebook, Nextdoor, and having customers see a visual of these projects really helps us as well. So if they're able to lay their eyes on the project and see, oh, I like that bush, or I like that tree, or the color of that rock, that's a huge selling point for us. Yeah,
I mean, these days it's so easy to share that kind of information because there's this whole thing called social media. And you can take a look at, I was giving a preview of the back wall, everybody, but you can show, you got some diagrams to help people understand irrigation, but just looking at some of the work, and we only got through a portion of those pictures, but just looking at what some of the work you put together for everybody, you obviously know what you're doing, and you can showcase that now. Get that camera out, everybody. I've got 2 cameras here with me all the time because we're always doing something, but just get that camera out, take some pictures, put them on your social media, start promoting your business because people want to see what you can do.
Absolutely.
And the work that you have provided in the past to help make this world a little bit better place. How do you feel, though, you most contribute to the community? I can only imagine by now, and we talked a little bit about it, you've got a little program you help specifically with. Tell me about that and why you felt like you wanted to contribute to that organization.
Yeah, we ran a promotion to help a pet adoption center. We donated $600 or $700 to be able to help get supplies for these dogs and the pets that they had there. Dog leashes, dog food, toys, medicine, you name it, stuff like that can help with these dogs and hopefully give them a little bit better life.
Yeah, I say if you're giving back to pets are kind of one of my favorites as well, everybody, because I've had beautiful. I'm a dog lover. I've had 2 beautiful dogs, and I could have adopted from the dog pet store, right? But instead I went to the Humane Society, and it's cool to see you're doing the pet adoption organizations to help people because those dogs a lot of times and cats get left out, and they just need somebody to love them
Absolutely.
And you're doing a good service because now the money you're donating goes right to them versus the profits that somebody's making. And not that we shouldn't make profit. Everybody needs to make a living. I get it. But hey, help those little animals, those little furry. They call our furry
friends.
Furry friends are fur babies. I've heard somebody go, "What's a fur baby?" It's a pet that has fur. It's a baby, kinda. It's like your baby, but it's got fur on it. And so a lot that you do there. Well, with that, let's jump back in here. We've got about 3 minutes left just to go over a little bit more of the work that you've done. And show you. We'll start off with what we got on the wall right here. Another landscaping job, another retaining wall there. Is that also a planter's? What'd you call it? A plant?
Yeah, a retaining wall planter. This was a really good job here. This is actually for one of my neighbors. And we installed everything. It was nothing but grass at first, so we started from the ground up. The blocks, the caps on top, all the caps always have to be hand cut. Each and every single one.
Really?
To make sure that they match up, especially with the curves. You can't just lay them on top.
Yeah.
So those have to be glued. All the bushes brand new, all the flowers, everything is brand new. And yeah. So
Cool. I'm
gonna
gonna click the right arrow button, everybody. There's some cool looking steps. Tell me about these.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a fun one. So those stones are 80 pounds each. So we had to carry all those to the backyard here, built the stairway with the flagstaff stones there and the caps on top. So everything worked out really well there. Color matched it up. And the customer originally wanted this done because at first they did not have the sides done. They just had the stairs, but water kept rushing all the way down the steps.
Ah, okay.
So we actually put that up to help with drainage.
Water erosion again, everybody. That could cause problems.
Absolutely. So that kind of helps the water roll down the hill and not necessarily impact any of the work there.
Nice. Petunias, marigolds. We got all kinds of our favorite flowers. And then back to a couple of these pictures that we had gone through. I wanted to jump ahead here and get into, okay, now give us a little bit of what's going on here. This is like an entire park area.
Yeah, this was a beautiful home right here in Lake St. Louis. It was a complete redo. There were weeds everywhere, overgrown stuff. We ripped everything out, installed weed barrier across the entire thing, planted a lot of new trees and bushes. As you can see here, we tied off a couple of the brand new ones that need that stability. Got some beautiful blooms on the hydrangea tree in the middle there, the white blooms. It's actually a strawberry hydrangea, so it'll kind of turn a pink reddish color.
Really?
The blooms. Yeah,
Okay.
Beautiful. I really suggest that to clients that want a beautiful bloom.
Yeah, I'll say it looks like you almost created a park for somebody in their backyard.
Yeah,
Right?
no.
This is
Yeah,
a
she
park. No,
loves
this
it.
is actually somebody's house. Back to some more of these. Now, it seems like you kind of specialize in retaining walls. Mulch, though. Here's another commercial one as we finish up here. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, this is Michael's Flooring here. This is their St. Peter's location. We service all of their locations, but this one is specifically St. Peter's. Just kind of cleaned it up. This was a smaller job. Planted the trees for them. Did mulch all the way around the building. Customer was happy because he kind of wanted a little bit of privacy. This is kind of where they hang out on their breaks right here. So as these trees grow, they'll grow together. Right now they're still babies. So after a couple more years, these are slow growers. So it'll kind of give them a little bit of privacy to kind of hang out on their smoke break or whatever they're doing. So
There you go. Commercial Schnooks. Michael's Flooring, you've done a lot of big stuff, man. Well known.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. Hey, everybody, this is the Your Little Castle show. If you know anybody that deserves to be highlighted, get a hold of us. We'll put them on TV here. Stay tuned for more, everybody. Giddy up.